And we are live.
We are live.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to live session with Joan and Kingsley.
Yes, yes.
Kingsley, where are we shooting from today?
Oh, ATL. ATL.
It's raining.
It is crazy rain at 44 degrees.
That's Fahrenheit. So for those of us who use centigrade, that's 4 degrees centigrade, really cold.
And Joan came here without a jacket.
She came without a jacket. Hey, you know.
And she's suffering it now.
Now I'm suffering. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to apologize. So LD is stuck in traffic, so he's not here. Maybe he might come in before we finish. But as you know, the show must go
on.
So I hope you guys are super excited. I'm super excited because this is one of my favorite topics in the world. Hustle. Life is all about the hustling. Every day I'm hustling. That's my thing.
Every day I'm hustling.
So
side hustle.
So once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to comment immediately, and we will take the questions as we go. And you can always reach out to us at the end of the show.
Matter of fact, writing comments, what we're come to find out is that this is a social networking platform. So if you're here, write things with high value, because you never know, when we have 1 million viewers, people are going to go back and see those intelligent comments or those comments that seem not so intelligent. So make sure you're keeping us, keep us in check too.
Yeah. And if you have points you want to share as well from your own experiences, then
absolutely,
share. We all want to learn. I'm here to learn as well.
Man, coaches coach so they can be coached.
Every coach has a coach.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to get started.
All right. Azuka.
Hey, Azuka, thanks
welcome
for joining.
in.
So the first thing we want to talk about is a hustle. So everybody uses that term, hustle, 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 hustle. What is a hustle?
What is a hustle? Man, a hustle, as far as I'm concerned, is finding something that's not a permanent gig, right? But you're trying to make money. You want to find something that can just generate cash flow, cash cow. Everyone needs that cash cow because your jobs can never pay you enough money. Didn't you? I mean, what do you think?
So that's one way to look at it. I also see a hustle as something, because most people don't enjoy their jobs. Like most people fall into their jobs.
Yes.
So they don't really enjoy their jobs. So that's already painful. So, for me, I think a side hustle should be something that you're a bit more passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if you're going to do a side hustle, you might as well enjoy it. Money is great. Hey, I love money.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that there has to be some element of, passion. It has to be something you enjoy.
Why
have 2 jobs, 2 painful jobs? Like,
you strike on something that's really interesting, right? Because a lot of people consider side hustle. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people consider side hustles just like cash cow. Let's just make quick money. But it's very, very strategic to be intentional about your side hustle and then do something that you're passionate about, because the truth about side hustles is that they don't just turn money like that. You know what I mean? So the chance that you'll be jumped from one side hustle to another side hustle, if you're not passionate about it, is really high. So you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Right there.
So, so there's basically like 2 types of hustles. There's a side hustle. So the one you're talking about, which is the one you do on the side, and it could be different types of hustles. And then some people actually grow their side hustles to become their permanent hustle.
Permanent hustle. Exactly.
Because your full-time job is your hustle as well. It's also a hustle. Okay, so just touching more on the role of passion and hustles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, the way I see it is, if it's not something you enjoy, then it's pain. It's another job. But if you enjoy it, then it's fun.
Absolutely.
So what role do you think passion plays when you're selecting a side hustle?
Passion is everything. I mean, if I speak from my mistake, so as I used to be in a 9-to-5, just like Jane was in a 9-to-5, we've jumped out, we started out, we're now entrepreneurs, we're coaching, and we have all these different products, right? And I found out that looking for hustles or side hustles comes with a lot of failure. It comes with a ton of failure. So passion, I wasn't the guy who was really passionate because I was thinking about making money. But the moment I started finding things that I was passionate about, those were the things that started to stick. And those are the things, funny enough, that I'm still doing today. Coaching was a hustle. I had a 9-to-5. Now coaching's paying the bills.
So basically, if you do find a side hustle that you're really passionate about, then it can easily become your full-time hustle.
It can become your full-time gig. Full-time, and why not?
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Okay, so like I talk to a lot of folks who are in our age bracket.
Yeah.
And most of them, when I talk about passion, they're like, what is passion? Like, people have forgotten what passion is because life has happened.
Life has happened.
People have responsibilities, people have bills to pay. So it's like, why are you even talking about passion? We just want to get paid.
We just want to get paid.
So for those who have lost their passion or who have no clue what their passion is, how can they start to discover that thing that used to give them joy back in the day?
Start by thinking about the things that you're good at. I mean, that's really where it starts from. Everyone is, and that's what we forget, is that we're all born with talents.
Yes.
You know, dig back into like when you were a kid. What was that thing that you did that everyone always called, man, oh, I knew he was going to do that. I mean,
but what about people that were troublemakers? Like, you know, I'm sure my mom, hopefully she's not online, but, you know, like, if you said go back to my childhood, she'd be like, oh, she was a troublemaker.
Who says you can't make money from trouble? Do you know how many celebrities are out there that they've made multi-millions and billions of? What are you talking about?
Okay.
As long as you're good at creating trouble, then that's what.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing. So going back into your childhood and trying to figure out what were the things that you're really good at.
Yeah.
So what else? What about you know, the things that people tell you you're good at? Because I never, like, even like just shooting these videos, like I never thought I didn't like being on video. I don't like being, I like to be behind the scenes.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm finding that I add a lot of value by being on camera.
Yes.
So I'm willing to do more because, you know, people are telling me now that I hope you guys can tell me differently, but people are telling me that I'm pretty okay at it.
You're amazing at it. But question is, are you now developing passion for?
So that's another thing. So is passion also something that you can learn? Yeah. Does it always have to be something that it's innate, you were born with it? Or is it something that you can pick up along the way?
Hey, Joan, that's why I keep saying that. You know, when it comes to like mindset coaching is always about having someone that can help you remember the things that you've forgotten. A lot of times people think that coach, I believe that everyone already knows everything. Like, you've experienced so much in your life, you know where your energy is best utilized, right? And sometimes you may just need to tap into someone else just to remind you that, hey, listen, that special thing that you thought you were, you really are. You know, you can do it. And most times we see how life is, and we don't even want to talk about those things because we feel so vulnerable around. You know, if anyone pokes any finger at your vulnerability, then you shut down. And you don't want to chase that. Have you ever experienced something like that?
A lot. A lot, but it's part of being human.
Yes.
But yeah, so in terms of passion, so what else do you think that people who've lost that passion, who've lost that drive, so people who, you're bored with your job, you already know that you don't enjoy going to work.
Yes.
How else can they start to find passion?
Well, start learning something new.
I like that.
What about learning something new?
I like that.
My mentor tells me, get 1% better every day, Kingsley. And every time that we talk, he asks me, did you get 1% better every day? And, you know, initially when he would say that, like, how do you measure 1%? Well, I mean, what is 1%? I mean, is it just a, you know, mindset? What did I do? But then I just realized the concept of taking something that maybe you didn't know how to do before and intentionally just learning it one day at a time, and every day just kind of measure that, the fact that I got a little better and there was an outcome, and create that outcome.
Okay, so that's talking about things that you already brand new. Like, is it possible to discover a new passion?
It is.
From something really, really brand new, something you've never done before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had never done videos ever before. Matter of fact, I will not lie to you. Everyone in my childhood had told me, Kingsley, you talk so freely, you talk so easily and all that. You should be on camera, you should go talk on stage and all that. But sometimes the things that people tell you that you're good at are the things that scare you the most. Like, so I would have like crazy butterflies and whatnot. So I started thinking, if I had a message, I want to get it out and I want to use media. But I swear, the first time I put a camera, I couldn't talk. I didn't know there was no information or no intelligence coming into my head. And it was crazy. So it was brand new. I was so scared. But believe it or not, right now I'm making some, cutting 2-3 videos.
Point is, you know, it's so easy to be afraid or to think I can't do it. Just start. Just get started. Just learn something new. Like, you'll be surprised where you can find your new passion. It could be something that you already had inside of you, but you forgot about.
Yes.
But again, it can also be something that is brand new, something you never thought that you would do.
Yes.
And then you start doing it, and before you know it, boom, you know, you're enjoying it. It's fun. You're like, you're checking yourself out, you know, and you're feeling kind of pretty awesome about yourself.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm seeing a couple of Omotosho Ahmed is here. He was a really close friend of mine, and he relocated to the US. He's in New York. Omoti, if you're listening, I want to hear what you think about this. And oh, there he is. What are you saying? I remember to be the talker amongst all of us. So listen, Larry King said that he made his money from just talking. He had no special skills. In fact, he was a misfit his entire life, and he just learned how to talk. And guess who's the highest paid speaker in the world from just talking? To people.
So so exactly. So you can always learn new skills. If you feel like you're not passionate about anything, then just do some research. Just try something new. Try. This is 2020. Just try something, and you never know, you might just catch on. Okay, so what about people who probably have an idea what they're passionate about and want to now get started on a side hustle? What are the top things that they need to look into before they decide to quit that 9 to 5, if they want to quit at 9 to, for those that a side hustle is something you do alongside your 9 to 5, what are the things that they need to do to be ready to be able to launch this new business?
Well, what do you need to launch your business? Investment, is money now. So check your pockets.
Check your pockets.
Because, how many times have we seen people jumping into businesses and there's nothing and jump out right back out of the business only to waste 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, and all that. If your business is capital intensive, your idea is capital intensive, find sources of investors. If you can't find that, then maybe that's not what you want to jump into at this point, or at least don't think about monetizing at this point. Just maybe play around with the ideas starting.
Okay, so that's money. So what about time? Because I find that some people, their day job already drains them so much. You spend all these hours in the office and then you get home, you're so exhausted. And people say you do your 9 to 5 and then you come home and you work on your 5 to 9.
And you work on your
So what if you don't even have a 5 to 9? There's some side hustles that are really, really time intensive. So I think before you decide on launching a new side hustle, think about how much time you actually have. And some people need to do after school runs and get things done in the evening and take care of aging parents, whatever it is. So I think money is great. You need to check your pocket, but you also need to check your time. How much time do you have available to run a side hustle?
And we talked about time being wealth, right? Time equals wealth. So what you spend your time doing determines, the value that you create. So here's the thing with what I found when I was in the 9 to 5. I also got stuck, like many, and I imagine most of you guys have experienced this. That you can run that and you can execute that, but then a second idea comes. And Joan, you're kind of like that. You come up with like 10 different ideas. So here's my thought is, for most people that are out there, when you have 10 amazing ideas and you can run with any one of them, how do you even know which one to go? Because that's where I think a lot of people get stuck.
Okay.
Not to drive the message elsewhere, but
So I think part of it is, how much does it cost? How quickly can you ramp up? What are you trying to accomplish from this side hustle? So you might have 10 ideas, but one is just a happy-go-lucky side hustle. It doesn't really bring you any money. But if the purpose of you starting a side hustle is to make money, then it's best you look for the ones that make you money. So because, if you don't meet your initial why, then you're going to get bored and you're just going to drop it. And you can look at what people are doing. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, this person is into selling cars, or he's doing property on the side, he's doing comedy, or he's a DJ on the weekends. That's fine. If that's your thing, go ahead and do it. But make sure you check your pocket. Make sure you have time. Make sure you have the skills. If you don't have the skills, then go ramp up, go learn, or go do something to find yourself a mentor, someone that can put you through. But make sure that you're ready, for the side hustle, because a side hustle can quickly become another 9 to 5 job, and we know what that means.
Matter of fact, speaking about a mentor, see, many people I have spoken with and I have coached undervalue mentors. Do you work with mentors, John?
Oh, I do. I have tons of mentors.
Would you?
I have mentors and coaches.
Would you even consider going into business without consulting a mentor?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
Because these people have probably been where you are, where you want to go, so they have the expertise. And then sometimes you need somebody to hold you accountable. You need somebody to make sure that you're going to succeed.
Yes.
You might be delusional. You might think, oh, if I just did this, I'm going to make $1 billion. But it's not really reality.
It's not reality.
So if you have a coach or a mentor, they will say to you, dude, let's be realistic. You're only going to make an additional $100 a month. And then you can take a decision. And then they'll also show you the ropes so that the ramp up time is shorter, as opposed to you just trying and failing and trying and fail. There's nothing wrong with trial and failure, but hey, at this age, I'm not trying to try and fail. If there's a faster route to just someone who's done it, who can just say, go this way, I'd rather just do that.
Absolutely. So here's a question, right? And I know a lot of folks may be wondering, with mentors, how do you even find mentors? Because they don't post ads. How have you, for me, the way I've built my relationships is I've been open to just being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So when I see someone who's doing what I would like to do, I would reach out to the person either by email, text, Facebook, or whatever it is, and just be vulnerable and say, hey, listen, I've seen that you've done X, Y, Z, and I've been trying to do it. I can continue hitting my head against the wall, but I'm really trying not to. Would you give me 5 minutes of your time just to help me get some clarity? And a lot of times they'll say yes. And when you're that vulnerable, they'll open up to you and start mentoring you.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it if you're bold and that's your thing. But if you're not, then you might have to pay for it.
If you're bold, or you might have to pay for it.
You might have to pay for
Exactly.
it. You know, I ask a lot of people, coaches and mentors, you know, why they charge. You know, because some of these things you just want to do it. You feel like I'm just giving back. I want to do it. But the truth of the matter is, people do not appreciate what they don't pay for.
The pain.
So if you're really, really serious and you want to grow yourself in 2020, you want to start a side hustle that makes you money or gives you freedom of time, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish with this side hustle, get yourself a mentor or a coach. Pay for it. Invest in yourself. You're not losing. You're gaining. You're
absolutely gaining. Matter of fact, look at the question that he has. He's in New York and he's saying, let him get some advice on how to build a small business in New York City. Do you have anything for Omoti?
Well, you have to do your research. So for me, research is key. You know, like you can go with what people say, but I like to do my own independent research because at the end of the day, you need to be accountable for whatever decisions it is that you make.
Yes.
So do your research. Again, check your pocket, check your time, check your responsibilities that you have at home before you decide on what business to go into.
Yes.
Yeah. And no business is guaranteed. Like there's always a risk factor in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Omoti, I'll tell you something else that you can do. You can on private message, reach out to me and we will talk about how to win friends, influence people, sell more, and build lasting partnerships. This is my specialty and this is how I coach folks. Now, the reason I coach on that platform is it allows you, every business or every transaction is growth and has people behind them, right? So if you learn how to win friends very quickly and very intentionally, you're able to add value to that relationship upfront, then it transitions to influencing that person. And once you get to a position where you're able to influence people, you're going to realize that it's easier for you to figure out the opportunities and where they lie. So sometimes you may not necessarily jump into a business first. You can start building a network. Fill out New York. Who's out there? Associate with a few different people. But let's talk about that offline.
That's awesome. Like that kind of, you know, is a good segue into the next point, which is how do you now make it all work together? So we've talked about what is a side hustle, what are the different types of side hustles, so full-time hustle or a side hustle, which is something that you run side by side with your 9 to 5.
Your 9 to 5.
We also talked about what the role of passion is in side hustles. How should you decide on what side hustle to do? No passion, it's a little bit painful, but it could be profitable. And then if you're passionate about it, then it's more fun. Then we also talked about those who have no passion or who have forgotten what their passion is, or who want to find or discover a new passion.
Yes.
And then we talked about what you need to do to get started. So now how do we now end it with, how do we make all of this work together?
How do you make the entire engine work? So something that's actionable, and I'll tell you what I use very openly. I use something called a mind map, and I'm sure many of you guys also use mind maps. So mind maps allow me like a map, right? So I can break them out and segment my thoughts. What I start with is I always break out my why into my personal goals and then my business goals. I want to understand exactly what has been driving me and gotten me into the situation, and what are my goals here, and then what are my goals for the business. How do I now make it work? Is I start with that. I know what the outcome is. In 5 years, I want to be here. In 10 years, I want to be there. Or in 12 months, I want to hit a certain revenue goal. I start with that outcome, and then I start building a roadmap using the mind map. And I put myself in a situation where as long as I know that the outcome is something that in my mind has already happened, then now it's time for me just to live.
Okay. So basically have a plan.
Have a plan. In simple words, have a plan.
So have a plan. So before you jump, and I know a lot of folks always want to jump, especially when you've really, really had enough of your current career, or it's not bringing you as much joy as you thought, or it's no longer meaningful, it's not satisfactory, you're looking for a little bit more fulfillment.
Yes.
Don't just jump ship. Don't just say, I quit my job.
Yeah.
It works for some people, but not for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So have a plan in place.
Yes.
Run the business side by side until you start making enough money to replace your 9 to 5 income, and then you can decide if you want to go into it full time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes you find out you may not even want to go into it full time. So you never know. So yeah, it is important that you have that plan.
So have a plan. So what about in terms of focusing on your customer? So I know that a lot of people just want to set up this business, they want to start making money, but they're not really focusing on the service that what they're delivering.
Yes.
So it's just about, I just want to make money, I don't care. Because when people think of side hustle, it always sounds like it's something that you don't care about. Something that it doesn't matter. I don't need to give it my time. I don't need to keep learning. I don't need to keep improving. It's just something on the side. It's almost like a stepchild that you don't want.
Almost like, and it shouldn't be that, because this is supposed to be something that will be a backbone and sustain you and get you out of where you don't want to be. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how? I mean, the thing is, what is that stigma? Like, what is it? Is it? I find that with side hustles, my experience, just tying what you just said right now, it really has been like close friends, family members, and people that I really know, love, and trust, right? That have been in with a good intention to try to make me better, have pointed out things where they feel I'm just not capable. And a lot of times they have to do with these side hustles, and I get discouraged. Does that happen to you, where people that you know really want you to succeed, their words make you,
just retreat,
just
and then hold back,
and hold back, and then all of a sudden you lose that passion. You know what I mean?
That's assuming that you started off having passion,
or trying to make the big cheese.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay, great. So we've given you guys, quite a lot of information today, again, as usual. So we want to hear from you. So what are your thoughts around side hustles? Go into, and what's your experience so far?
And how would you coach other people? I mean, if you've done something that makes sense and that works, how do you coach somebody else that hasn't done it? What would you advise them at this point? Do they just jump and follow? Like, I've always been on the impression, right, that just because something's working for someone else,
it's gonna work for you.
It doesn't. But then it doesn't mean that you don't want to check it out. It doesn't mean that you don't want to learn about what they're doing. But don't be in a hurry to be actionable around what other people are doing, because sometimes what you see is not what it is.
Yeah, that's so true. So it's like, and the person might be passionate about it, so they're not even, so what the pain is actually joy for them.
Yeah.
So they're really enjoying it. Like, I watch you sometimes when you're doing your, database and all, and I'm like, ugh, kill me already. Oh man, this is fun. I can do this all day, every day.
Yes.
But if I looked at you and I said, oh, you know what, I want to go into that business because it looks like it's easy for you, I'll just die because it's painful. Because
it's painful. Like for me, you see, like building the database, interestingly enough, right? Built in iSpeed network, right? And I bring about 15 people into my office on a weekly basis, and I meet organically about 100, 110 people, and I add into my database. And they're all segmented based on who they are, what they are, and all that. Because really what I'm looking for is opportunities. But when I started, I didn't really have a business goal in mind. I just wanted to help people and connect the dots and make life easy, because I felt that was something that was really cool, easy for me to do. But before building, I had no idea that I would be a data, driven person. I just never even thought I'd process things like that. Okay, so do what you love what you do, and you never have to work a day in your life. So what other pattern was you have for people? Because I think we're like 9 minutes early. Maybe we should drag our friend into this conversation. So we have someone who, so today we flew into ATL. Yes. Today. We're here for JT Fox's training. We're going to be here 3 nights in ATL. Listen, man. Yes, if you're in ATL, hit us up. Hit us up. In fact, even though it's raining. And you can't buy tickets and you can't register because the registration is closed. But JT Fox, you need to be on the JT Fox live. But so picking us up from the airport, coming in, is this amazing guy called Fred. And I asked straight up, like, so what's your gig? What's your hustle? Because we're talking about the podcast, right? And he said, oh, I was a Scrum Master, but I haven't even done that a long time, since like September. So I'm like, whoa, so how 5 months, 6 months, and you still look this amazing? What's that side hustle? That's how it's gonna come. Fred, come on. So tell us a bit about it, because you've also done a lot of hustles. So everyone, this is Fred.
Oh, yeah. Just hustling. I mean, this is America, so you have to, find different avenues to, to generate income, especially if you have a family or you got, dependents. So, I mean, it's pretty basic.
So how did you decide on what to do? How did you decide what hustle to go into?
Well, really, first thing is always try to see what other people are doing and see if you can actually do the same thing with your own twist, or see how you can do it. And if that works or not, then you can kind of go to the plan B or C. So, the typical thing most people do, is always, okay, well, this guy is doing this. Maybe I could do that. So, maybe that might be mentorship or not, but trying to follow the pattern and just see what value you can bring in, because at the end of the day, not all side business is for everybody.
Absolutely.
So you kind of have to, but if you don't try, you're not gonna know if it's gonna work for you or not. But so you try it out, and while you're doing it, don't, I'm not a put all your eggs in one basket kind of guy. So I'm a put 5 eggs and leave 2 on the side just in case, because you don't want to be stranded, and it takes the time to now revert to something else. So especially now with the, technology information age. There's so much information out there, and you'd be amazed how people are making money from just social media to other things. So you don't want to limit yourself to one particular thing. So not all gigs has to be physical. Some could be, something you're doing online, or, something as little as, if you look at the most successful companies nowadays are all online. It's the Amazons, the Ubers,
digital,
So all of them a lot of them don't necessarily have any inventory. A lot of them are using the leverage of other people's inventory. They just kind of be a middleman. So that's a service business is never going to go out of style.
Okay. So would you ever consider passion when you're selecting a side hustle? Is passion something that even crosses your mind? Or are you just focused on, I need to make money, do whatever people are doing or whatever is easiest? Do you think about passion? What am I actually going to enjoy?
So listening to you guys, and passion is something that I've always craved for. However, I've never been one of those people that I know what I'm passionate at.
You need to work with me.
So I'm passionate about what's bringing in the money. So realistically, and that bothered me for years. I've always tried to go with this mantra of, you got to do what makes you, what you're passionate about, and you never walk a day in your life. Well, I've been looking for that passion. I haven't found it. But one thing I do know makes me passionate is if I see that I did this and I'm able to yield a certain kind of interest, now you got my attention. So it's, I'm very passionate about actually doing something. What I'm passionate about is helping people, but I haven't really figured out to leverage that. So in the meantime, where I can't really make money from helping people, I just figure when I get money, I can use that to help people. So
okay. So that's another way to do it. So people always think I want to do charity means I have to go work for a charity. It could just be that you make money and then channel money that way.
Charity.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Red. Thank you for picking us from the air. That was really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're in Atlanta for till Monday?
JT Fox.
So again, apologies that LD couldn't make it. He's stuck in traffic somewhere because it's raining. It's raining cats and dogs. So hit us up if you have any other comments or questions. Feel free to hit us up. Any final words for that?
What do you mean any final? Of course, I always have final words now.
Okay.
Listen. I believe in being actionable in everything that we do, right? So these sessions that we have are not really to just be here talking, right? The sessions that we have are so that if you're thinking about starting a hustle, a side hustle, a new gig, there's confusion, you don't know how to jump. You have many different ideas, you know that you can execute on any one of them because there's some kind of passion or no passion that will make you money, but you're not exactly sure how to go. Or you started, you're trying to figure out how to sustain. Or you're already making money, you're trying to figure out how to transition and get out. Or you're already transitioned and got out and you want to figure out how to scale and become a much bigger business. What we've learned is how to build amazing networks of people who are just like you, who have experienced exactly the same things that you've experienced, who have mastered failures and have built successes. And what we bring to the table is this combined resource and that effort to help you succeed. So do not feel shy to ask your questions because your questions will 10x you at the 1% every day.
Absolutely. Well said.
Cool. You would think that I rehearsed that, wouldn't you? Yeah?
It sounded pretty good, but it's true. Never feel like you're alone. Like, we're here to help. You can always reach out to either of us, and we're willing to support you, help you create that new dream, passionate business, whatever it is for 2020. We've got to win. There's no alternative. You got to win. We're all gonna win. We're all in this together, and we got you covered. So, so we're almost at time. So again, thank you for sticking through with us. Thank you, Fred, for picking us up from the airport, and I'm sure we're gonna have fun in ATL. And then we'll see you again next week, Thursday. Not sure what time, but I'll post it. I'll be back in Toronto, back to the snow on Monday. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good evening.
Before you hand out, I'm just going to leave one thing.
Okay.
So network is always important, like you said.
Yes.
You just, you know, if you have a million people that give you $1, you're a millionaire.
You're a millionaire.
It never it doesn't get more simpler than that. You just, if you have, even though you don't have money, if you have people that have money that believe in you, and all it takes is 5%.
I'm happy I know you, Fred.
You know, the opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm rich. I'm a millionaire because I know Fred.
So Fred will leave you guys with that. Okay. Network till you can't network anymore.
Thank you guys for watching. All right. Have a good weekend.